Well, good morning, everybody. I'm Jan Erickson from Stepping Aside, and welcome to As Above, So Below, a rune and tarot divination for Thursday, the 30th day of June, 2022. Well, last day of the month. Yay! Pay bills tomorrow, or maybe a few today. We'll see. Depends on how much time I have. Well, the 4th of July is coming up. I know part of our area has banned fireworks, so I discovered yesterday that where we live isn't probably one of them, but we're still going to take what we have down to our grandkids anyway and let them have them. Although I love fireworks, there's really no reason to do that without them, you know. So anyway, I hope everybody's had a good week. I've been doing a lot of work outside. My husband's been doing a lot of work outside, but then he does the whole summer long. We get our hay cut here pretty soon, so that's going to be nice. But the pasture's growing really well. Finally, my cucumbers are growing. I bought new seeds. I don't know. My seeds were only a couple years old. Or actually, I think they were from last year. But nothing happened. I don't know. And my zucchini's up finally, and although I have some transplants, but all that'll go to the chickens because we can't eat that much, right? So anyhow, let's see. I don't think there's anything else I need to share with any of you that's happening. The stuff is already scheduled to go up on the blog for next week, and everywhere else I post on Medium and on Patreon. All that's ready to go. I think all that's ready to go. Actually, you know what? I think the Patreon stuff is not ready to go. I need to do that. So, yeah, but I think everything else is. But I'll have to go check. I scheduled. I thought I was doing this next week, but I was actually doing the following week. I don't know what happened last week, and I had to scramble to get the next one done. I don't know. I got off on my days, but anyway. But I got a lot of work done. I had a schedule, so that was kind of cool. And when things like that happen, you know, you have to ask yourself: is something going to happen where you're going to have needed that to happen? And so anyway. But you can thank jury duty too for all of that. That was, I didn't have to actually serve, so that was good. I didn't really want to commit to that anyway. At this point, I got too much going on here. So anyway, so let's take a look at the Esoteric Influences for today. Now, this is from the weekly posts that I do over on the blog, and it also goes out in the newsletter on Saturday nights. And so if you want to sign up for that, you can go over to the blog at Stepping Aside at imsteppingaside.com. There's links below the video. When you hit on show more, there's a little explanation and description for what I do here. You just go down past that and you'll see the links. And the blog link is there too, if you forget. And let's see. If you go to the blog and you scroll down a little bit on the left side panel, you'll see a newsletter sign up. You can sign up for it there if you want to get that in your inbox once a week. And so for today on the 30th, 30 reduces to 3. So we have a numerology of 3 for the day. So optimism, imaginative self-expression, attention to detail. The rune today is Thurzaz. It means the thorn. It's known as Thor's rune. So you can think of it's a very powerful rune. So defense, new beginnings, protection, opposition, impulsive behavior, chaos. It also means giants because Thor was a giant, or at least a really big guy. I don't know. The Geomancy rune for today is Fortuna Miners, so lesser fortune. It also indicates outside assistance. It's positive. It means progressive success, whereas Fortuna Major would be like the windfall or the paycheck or whatever. The greater fortune. This would be more like if you were a contractor and you did progress billings on a job you're doing because it's a long-term job. You know, you couldn't wait until the end kind of thing. So that would be one example that's maybe a little more tangible for people's lives. Let's see. The sun's in Cancer. The moon's also in Cancer until it shifts to Leo at 5:40 p.m. this evening or late afternoon, depending on how you see that. In my family growing up, anything after 5 o'clock was evening, so I don't know. But other people, it's like, oh, no, evening is much later. You know, nighttime is much later. Anyway, planetary governance today for those working magic is Jupiter. And although I think today on the 30th, I think the favorability might be very bad. I don't have that up here on the screen, so I can take a quick look at that. But anyway, you might just have to do something else. Now I just lost my other thing. Where is that? Let me get that. Let me move this out of the way. Oh, there it is. Okay. All right, so I just nuked out my notes here for the Esoteric Influences. So anyway, for today, you're drawn to new experiences that involve wellness and time spent with friends and family. You might begin a new wellness routine, engage with a mentor, or begin reading a new book that leads to self-discovery. This is a time where conscious change can signal a significant new direction. At this juncture, you seek balance irrespective of the circumstances and prefer to retreat if things become too chaotic or if you're unsure of the motives of others. If additional insight or clarity is necessary, you're willing to seek outside counsel from someone with a different perspective, but what you're not willing to do is to remain with the status quo. And again, you know, there could be things that are going on that have to do with questionable motives by other people. Even if it's just they're being self-possessed, you know, it could be something as simple as that, which, you know, when it translates into life, it's not so simple, is it, when you deal with self-possessed people? So anyhow, let's go ahead and take the rune for today, though, for the reading, the Elder Futhark rune, and then we'll do the Geomancy rune. Where am I? There's the other one. Well, we have Birkenau. This is the mother rune, the earth mother rune. Birkenau's about family and healing and protection, bringing something to fruition. So a pregnancy and a birth. Did I say protection? But basically, you know, it's about the light of spirit. You can see Kenaz here in two inward, one outward, so one forward and two reversed. It's like the greater than sign. You see Vunyo, you see Rado in it. You see, and Rado's going to talk about integration and momentum. So again, bringing something to fruition. That's the whole idea behind Birkenau. Well, that's also Rado's involved in this, and so you're looking at that momentum. So there's momentum involved. Again, that's going to also align with Fortuna Minor today with the idea of progressive success. But Birkenau as the mother rune, you know, you're really looking at, it's an earth element type of a rune, and so you're looking at issues of home and family, home and hearth kind of things. And the love that we have, you know, for our family. Well, here we have Conjunctio as the Geomancy rune. Let me find it here. Oh, right on top. Looks like a little hourglass. Conjunctio is about joining and union. It can be also about agreements, but agreements made with one another. But with Birkenau, you know, you're really, it drives home the idea of family. And the idea of outside assistance, asking family, asking people in your tribe for help, relying on them for one thing or another. That integration you see with Rado. There's also with Birkenau you see Vunyo in it, which is joy and fellowship with others. So again, you see this sense of integration today, and reliance on people that are in your tribe or in your family. You know, for just support, advice, you know, that kind of thing, maybe. So again, you know, there's this more personal type of integration with people today, and the alignment and unity, joining together. So let's see what the cards have to say about that coming into this, excuse me, holiday weekend. With the, see, tomorrow's the 1st, so 4th is Monday. So hopefully you can gather together safely. With COVID still being here, I know for some people that's a little hard to do. especially if your family is out and about and not wearing masks. Then, you know, it's one thing if they're home and they're working from home or whatever, and they're largely at home, and they're taking precautions when they go out or something. You know, for us, we can do that, but you know, it's still a risk going from one area where we live to the other area where they live. You know, it's a different type of population. It's more dense, and so there's always the risk that we take. And so far we've been okay, but you know, we still, unfortunately, I guess in one county here in Oregon, Multnomah County, the COVID has been on the rise for some time. So I don't know. And with the variants that keep coming out, it's like, geez, can we just get over this? But apparently not. So, well, let's see. Oh, okay. Well, we have one card from the court. We have none from the minor arcana other than the court. The court's technically in the minor arcana, but none of the small cards. We have two cards from the major arcana, so two soul archetype cards. We have strength and judgment. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and talk about them in the order that they are. Let's look at the Knight of Cups. Here we see a knight, visor up. He's got the winged sun on his helmet there. We see his well, in normal rider white deck, the horse would be white, but here we have a grayish horse going to take a step across that meandering little creek there. It doesn't look like it's too big, so either he's going to step across it or just sort of walk through it, maybe. But the knight is holding a golden chalice in offering of compassion, of love, of support. But he's romantic. He's a young man. He's chivalrous. There's a sense of movement because of the water element. Cups is the water element. So he's passionate. He's visionary. There's a sense of arrival because he's like he's coming to somewhere and making an offering. And with cups, you're looking at emotions. You're looking at compassion, empathy, support. But you're also looking at change. Knights are dynamic, very dynamic. So there could be he's bringing some change, perhaps that's positive, into a situation. At this point, we have the eighth card of the major arcana and also the 20th. So 8 and 2 is 10, reduces to 1. So we're looking at a 1 energy, 1 numerology here. So new beginnings. So I think that's why the idea of arrival with the knight may have something to do with something new coming in that maybe reflects a little bit more compassion and support and empathy, or it's something that you're finding yourself going in that direction of being able to offer support to someone else, to offer kindness and empathy, compassion. And to do that, we need to bring in high. And again, we could have started with the two major cards and then with the Knight of Cups being the result, but we can also do it this way. There's something about your inner strength here today, taming the wild within, that allows you to think about someone else other than yourself. Here we have the goddess lovingly holding the head of a lion in her hands. The lion represents will. And she has the inner strength to just simply give that love to the lion. And so it's trust, it's mastery, it's goddess power, it's courage, it's unconditional love. So the unconditional love aspect of this is going to align very well with the Knight of Cups, also with Birkenau, also with Conjunctio. Let's see, and again today you're drawn to new experiences that involve wellness and time spent with friends and family. But there's an element of self-discovery today that I think maybe is involved with the Strength card, also with Judgment. You see the Lemnis gate above her head, the figure 8. And basically when you see that, at least in my opinion, I interpret that as meaning that you're going to have cyclical kinds of experiences with this. There's going to be times when you feel strong, times where you don't, or times where you are moving into a period where inner strength is going to be required. But then we have Angel Gabriel blowing his horn and waking everybody up. We see all these folks coming up out of their coffins, raising their hands in supplication to Spirit, essentially, and to the inner balance that they come from, that they arrive at with when they awaken to who they are as basically souls in these bodies. We see a cross here, which is not a medical cross. It's not a religious cross. I view it as this. We have, theoretically, we live about here, usually, in form. Our focus is here. Ideally, it should be here, and when you awaken, that's basically where you are. You come into balance, both from spirit into form, and also the polarity within feminine and masculine, or receptive and projective. Ideally, if we lived who we are, as souls in these bodies, we would likely live in balance right here. But we're somewhere down below that usually, depending on where you are in your awakening and in your whole idea of ascension. It could be a little bit higher. But the idea is vibrationally, we tend to, when we focus into form, we're dealing with the form basically. And so the more reactive we are, the lower we are here on this axis basically. But that's what the angel is basically what Gabriel's asking people to do here, is asking him to wake up, asking everyone to wake up and understand who they are. But you don't have to be coming out of your coffin to do that. You can do that now. And so I think that's the whole point of looking at tarot and runes and other kinds of higher energy things that give you the reminder of who you really are, that these bodies are just a vehicle for the soul to experience tangible life and to bring that knowledge, that awareness back to the collective sense of self, or the collective consciousness, if you will. I mean, however you see that, you can use whatever terms you want. Those are just the ones I use. Those are the ones that have meaning for me. But the idea is that you awaken to who you are, the integration, the balance. And again, integration with Birkenau, integration with conjunctio, that momentum of moving your awareness into something higher today, that allows you to express compassion and unconditional love to those in your life, even to strangers. That need that. You never know. You never know what people are dealing with in their lives. And any random act of kindness that you can do, even just letting somebody go ahead of you in the checkout line at the grocery store, because you have more, they just have a little bit, just here you go ahead, that can make their life easier. And so it lifts them up when you do that. It also lifts you up when you do that. But being there for other people if you can, even if it's over the phone, even if you're trying to keep yourself safe and well, maybe right now things, especially if COVID's increasing in the area that you're at, you're going to have to restructure some of that, maybe about how you're going to keep yourself safe. And go back to wearing masks if you've stopped wearing masks. We never have stopped. We still wear them. We go out and about. We're going to go to the grocery store in a little while, and or sometime today, and on go the masks, and that's just that. I still have the hand sanitizer in the car. I still wipe things down. I mean, COVID, you breathe out, it settles on things, right? Well, I still take those precautions, and maybe I don't need to, but as far as wiping things down, but I don't know. I'm in the habit of it. So it's like, get out the spray thing, get out the rag, and just kind of, I don't know. But you have to, as your situation changes, you have to assess the risk. And, even if you've been vaccinated like we've had 4 vaccinations, we also know that they're not going to stop us from getting the disease. And so maybe, or getting the virus. And so, you just make that judgment along the way, especially, since we're not out of the woods on this. I don't, it's unfortunate. We could have done things so differently, but there was just too much, push and pull and all of that. And people defining this as their freedom and all that. It's like, well, no, this is a little bit different. So I think that for today, if you have the ability with the Knight of Cups to offer something to someone else, or to receive an offering from someone else, do so. Have the inner strength to express your love and your support unconditionally for someone who's maybe hurting, whatever it is, or in need. Maybe you have a neighbor that has maybe had some issues, some health issues or something, or you have your own health issues, and you need a little help and support. Don't be afraid to reach out and ask for that. And awaken to who you really are. Awaken with judgment to understanding the renewal, the rebirth, the transformation, being able to see the bigger picture, understanding that it's not simply about you. And that's where strength comes in, seeing that it's not simply about you, that it's about the collective need, if you will. That's the conjunctio of things. It's the Birkenau of things. Understand that when we see other people, that they're the other side of self. And so if that's the case, then in a sense, if we're all coming from the same creator, if we're all just aspects of the creator focused into form, then we are all one family. One big messy family, but we're one family, all right? Even though it doesn't appear like we are, right? So being able to drop resistance and allow that higher awareness to drive the inner strength to express yourself in a way to others that is truly going to enhance their lives is a good thing today, I think, and for the next few days. So I don't think we need another card. I think that this is just really it's a very powerful reading, but at the same time, it's a very simple reading that, we're here to help one another and not put ourselves above other people and involve them in things maybe that they didn't ask to be involved in. That's another way of looking at this. So to drop resistance to that need to do that, to put yourself before everyone else, and realize that we need to awaken to the fundamental truth of who we are and who we are together, and the family aspect here that exists, whether we happen to like somebody or we don't, right? Because we're not going to always like everybody. We don't always like everybody in our families either. There's just personality differences that, yeah, that's my uncle, but whatever. But maybe today or for the next few days, maybe check in on uncle and see how you're doing. Can I come see you, or can we visit for a little bit over the phone, or is there anything you need? I mean, how's your life going? Especially if that person's older or something, and they're not as able to get around and do things like they used to be able to. So lots of ways to look at this, I think. But again, it's about the unconditional love found in the Strength card, and the awakening to truth with the Judgment card allows you then to offer yourself to other people and to accept the same from them. And that can be a really tough thing for people to do, to accept help from somebody else. They just, I don't know, it feels funny to them. They're more than happy to extend that to other people, but it's the receiving part that they have a hard time with. It's weird, isn't it? So anyway, I kind of have that problem. So that's why I know. But anyhow, thanks for watching. And I'll go ahead and on the 4th, because it's a Monday, I'll be back here again to do another one of these. But have a good day, have a good weekend, and if you have grandchildren and you can't go see them, at least give them a call and You know, my grandchildren, one's going to turn 5 next month, and the other's going to turn 3. The other, when the one turns 5, the newest one will be 6 months old on the same day. And so they've learned about video calls, and so we get video calls from our grandchildren now, and it's just incredible. We just love it. So anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for coming by. If you haven't clicked subscribe yet, I'd love you to do that and come back and join me on Monday for another edition of As Above, So Below. Be good to yourself, be good to one another, and blessed be.